Welcome everybody, Shabbat Shalom. For those of you who are on Zoom, do we have, we want to welcome you as well to tonight's Shabbat service. It is June 10th, 2022, corresponding to the 12th of Sivan in the year 5782. And this is our social justice Shabbat and our bread Shabbat. So let's, our handout, I just want to say that you need to have 3 pages in that handout. I'm just learning how to make them into booklets. Bob said that meant that my salary would go up because I learned how. But I told him that some of the booklets have only 2 pages instead of 3, and he said, well, that means your salary goes down, so it's even. So anyway, I'm just really delighted that you're here. And Hava Nashira on page 2, it means come let us sing a song of praise. It goes like this. In your booklet. So happy that it even works like that. And on page 4. We come together. We come together this Shabbat, each bringing to the sanctuary a private world of hopes, of fears, and of dreams. Some of us are burdened by anxieties and cares that all but crash our faith in the future. Others have hearts filled with happiness, grateful for the joys of the past week, yet aware that even the most fortunate are vulnerable before the mystery of tomorrow. Every life is a unique blending of joy and sorrow, of fulfillment and frustration. Beneath our uniqueness, we are all bound together by our common humanity. All of us most deeply yearn for the blessings of freedom and peace. Each of us seeks the personal liberation of a mind that is not enslaved to conventional wisdom. A heart that's able to love without fear, a spirit that cries yes to the universe. Each of us strives for the inner peace that comes with finding a harmony between our aspirations and our abilities. This is the Shabbat peace to which we aspire. So I'd like to welcome Sue and Angela to come up and bring in the lights of Shabbat. Please turn in your Sigur to page 120 and sing. Thank you so much, Angela and Sue. So if you turn to the front of your handout, this week's Torah portion is called Naso, and in it is the priestly blessing. So the words are there, and I will chant them, and please feel free to join me, and then we'll read them in English together. Yevrecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Can you hear it? So may this be God's will. Ya'er Adonai panav v'elecha v'yichuneka. Can you hear that song? May this be God's will. Yisa Adonai panav v'elecha v'yoseh lecha shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. Together in English, God will bless you and keep you. God will lift up light for you. God's presence will be lifted up toward you and bless you with peace. So now let's turn to page 130. Page 142, welcoming the angels, the communion, the journey of Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Say, So we continue with the Chatzikaris on page 144. Page 144 in your seat. Yitkadal Shmei Rabbah, Yamadi Brach Yirtei Alich Machutei, B'chai Yechol Yomecho, Uv'chayei Yachlo Ben Yisrael, Bagala, Uv'yizman Karim, Vayimeru Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabbah L'Borah, La'alu Alme Almaya, Yitbarach V'Shabbat, Yitbar V'Tumah V'Naseh, V'Yetzadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalash, Shemei Kudishah V'Yichu, La'ela V'Chol V'Chatav Shirata, Tushbechata L'Nechemata, Tamira Yama, Vayimeru Amen. Please stand. I'd like to invite Bob and Polly to come up for reading 2. And that will be on page 4 and 5.
Twilight people.
As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight, for twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are a twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles, the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscross paths of memory, explanation, streaks of light and swirl together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither and all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to find the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define, we can't always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight.
We continue on page 5 of your handout.
Day turns to night, rolling to dark, rolling to light. Night
Please turn to page 150 in your handout. Excuse me, in your seatbelt, your purple. Page 150. Join together on page 154. V'yata et Adonai Elohecha b'chol לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל דרכך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך ביתך ולכתך בדרך ושופרך וקומך וקשרת לאות ידיך והיו לטוטפות בימינך וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי ואיתם קדושים ללכם אני אדוני אליכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אליכם. Adonai Elohechem and Joel Shapiro will come up and read with you. In our handout on page 6. This reading is called B'Tselem Elohim by Rabbi Adam Roosevelt. B'Tselem Elohim means in the image of God. One of the most important teachings of the Torah is V'ahavta l'orecha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. There are no ifs and buts. We are commanded to love all members of the fabulous human family. In the creation account in the book of Genesis, God creates us B'Tselem Elohim, in God's image. That means that all of us, no matter our race, religion, gender identity, nationality, economic status, disability, or sexual orientation, are reflections of the divine being who created us all. Therefore, when we act with love and compassion toward one another, we become holy. But holiness isn't enough. Being holy means we become aware of our task to fix this broken world. The biblical prophets urge us on with their words, justice shall you pursue. Pursuing justice means that we will keep working until our objectives are achieved, until we gain full civil rights for all, including marriage equality and non-discrimination protections across our country.
Each one of us carries a divine spark within, and when these sparks come together, be they 2 sparks in marriage, or many more sparks in community, there is that much more godliness in the world. Bigotry prevents the sparks from uniting, from joining with other sparks. Bigotry and hatred keep people in their shells, afraid. Bigotry is the absence of justice. So pursuing justice means dealing with bigotry head on. It means educating others about the diversity and the beauty of God's creation. It means not being afraid of ourselves. It means letting our spark shine as bright as they can, for where there is light, there is hope, and justice penetrates the dark.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asanu b'tselem Elohim.
Praise be you, our God of the universe, who has made all of us in your image as amazing, awesome, and wonderful creations.
So we continue together with Nichamocha on page 158. I think of the challenge, the Nichamocha challenge, the challenge to truly be who we are. Turn to page 160 and pray together. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to light and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel. The shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai ha'orei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'achol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai ha'orei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'achol amo Yisrael. Yerushalayim ve'achol amo Turn in our Siddur to page 162. Tefillah starts on page 164. Chant a few blessings together, and then we are on our own with our own thoughts and prayers. So let's stand. Page 164. Adonai Sivatah Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Ha'gibor Ha'nurah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'kol, V'zocher Ha'servot Me'imahot, U'mevim Kulam Nebneiha, Elan Shemo V'Yamah, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Nezrat Sarah, Atah Yitolel Adonai, Nechayeh HaKol Atara Moshiach, Mori Patah, Nechakeh Chaim B'Chesed, Nechayeh Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Rofim V'Rofeh Cholim, U'Matir HaSurim, U'Mekayem B'Chnato, L'Shelei Afar, Mi Chamocha B'Hirot, U'Midyomecha, Melech Menit U'Machayeh, U'Masbiach Yeshua, V'Nermanat HaLachachek Metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaMetim, Atah Elohim HaKadosh, U'Kedoshim B'Cho Yodenu Chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. I hope very much that you find in the quiet either words on these pages or words of your heart or thoughts that come through. And I will give you peace. We open our minds to the memory of this week for any unexpected surprises that came through, any blessings, any hurdles that we were able to climb over. And just take a moment. Page 178. We turn in our Siddur to page 371, and we send our love to those in the pew. We send our love for Shlema to Randy Ronald and Penny Clark and Janice Shulman, Bendon, John and Joanna Blue, Paige Youngblood. And what a blessing it is to we've been praying for you to get stronger and stronger. May that only continue through the gospel. Marlon Hopper, Bernie Esperlin, Sandy Lewin, John Knoxon, Andy Bunker, Baker Bunny, Laura Sender Lawrence. Are there any others that we're praying for on this Shabbat?
Robin Knuckles.
Jean Beamer, Virgil McGrath, Jenna Houston,
To page 379. We shall bear Mekor Abraham, Laimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishevera imotenu, mekor Abraham, labotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So I think what we're going to do is, Bob, perhaps you and Holly will put it 2 chairs in the middle and give the opportunity for you guys to sit up here. And when she comes, you guys, it's all good. So we are hoping that Q will make it. We think she will. Very close. Very, very close. Maybe I have another idea. That's fine. If you're saying very, very close, what happened? It's very close. You know what? Maybe we'll do our announcements now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about that? Can I get the picture? Sure. Thank you. No, but I do have some on the back.
Okay. Welcome to Pride Shabbat, and glad that everyone can be here and be supportive of our community. And I'd like to just share a few announcements with you. And the one is I'm going to work backwards. September, we have our food fair. Wonderful event, and it's our major fundraiser every year. So tonight we have, thanks to Lynn Snyder, all of the makings for baking different apple cakes and penny cakes and what other kind. Shizzle, they're out in the narthex.
Maybe, Lynn, you should come up and talk about what we're supposed to do with that. You want to come up? Lynn, do you want to come up and say something about the tins and?
Yeah, you want to say something about doing the cooking?
Yeah.
I know I have done this a year for several years, and I get all my apples together and everything. So the only thing you need are the ingredients and to bake these, and then bring them down here and we'll put them in the freezer. So I will help you after the service, sign up.
And if you want, there's also Sign Up Genius. The link is on the temple website. And we need a lot of
December.
Yep, and we have some people making, Moldova, there's a sign up for that on there. There's a sign up to do Menendez with Roy at his home. And of course the cakes, we need cakes, each recipe makes 2 cakes. And then once you bake the cakes, bring them here, we put them in the freezer, they're completely labeled, ready to go in the freezer. And we need them back by September 2nd.
Nice. So we appreciate that. I think we have over 30 volunteers already signed up to help make things, but we need 130. So we got a ways to go, but I know that people do step up. So we will talk to you tonight. And that reminds me that we will talk to you Sunday morning at the annual meeting. So we're going to do it in Zoom, online, and in person. So that's at 10 o'clock. We will have bagels and coffee and everything here. So if you do come in person, we will enjoy doing the bagels. You'll hear the reports from the different people that have been on the board this year. And we appreciate everything that volunteer board members have done. And we'll report on the budget and anything else that comes up before the congregation. 10 o'clock this Sunday. And then we have tomorrow morning for a study, as usual, online and in person.
Zoom, that one is Zoom
That'll be Zoom.
and in person.
Okay.
More fun in person.
And then next Friday, June 17th, is Shabbat with a Beat. That's our band. But we also have a guest speaker that I think maybe Susan, you could tell us about Cindy Fowler. Just
Yes.
briefly. Or
Anyway, yes. So I think it's written down on the sheet there.
she's from the Friends Committee on Legislation. Okay, and she's going to be speaking about the situation in Yemen. So the opportunity to learn about what's going on in other parts of the world. Appreciate that. Okay, I think that covers the what we're doing. We appreciate all the help that you can give us with the food fair. And look for me afterwards because I'm going to have my hands full of these. And I'll be with Pittsburgh to sign you up. And I see the queues on our way in too. So this worked out just perfect timing. Thank you all very much for being here tonight and being supported.
Thank you. Wow. So I want to just say a couple of things really quick. Welcome. Wow. It's my honor to welcome Angela Ezekiel, Jack Ezekiel, and Q Ezekiel to share with us this evening. And let me share with you what I know. I first met the Ezekiels, to the best of my knowledge, at Shalom School. My kids, Max and Eliza and Lily, were also students with you at Shalom School. Eliza was in Q's grade, and Elise closer to Lily's. That means a lot of years of sharing Shalom School moments, graduations, project nights, and birthday parties. And all those things go into having a close-knit Jewish school. The Ezekiels became members at Congregation Beth Shalom, and I had the privilege of being Q and Elisa's bat mitzvah teacher. Those were the days of much fun and many mitzvah parties and lots of dancing. Very fun times with you, Angela, on the dance floor. I have met Jack's parents, and Sue is here, who reside in Berkeley, and you have always been so involved with the kids' life. I've met Angela's sister and brother many times. So when you think of the Ezekiels, I think always being direct, positive attitude, generous, and solidly good. The Ezekiels are gracious and loving people. Their backyard has many swim parties with Jack and barbecue and kids splashing in the pool. And then there's this thing called gymnastics. First it was tricks and then foot-tastics. The Ezekiel families has spent a great deal of time with that and then meets in places like Disneyland. Q is an artist and brings color and joy into her work. Q has always had a special spark, and it is magnificent to watch how that spark continues to evolve. To this day, Eliza and Q have a dear friendship. and I cherish your whole family. I want to thank Bob Bennett for shepherding tonight's social action Shabbat and our annual Pride Shabbat. As an ally of the LGBTQ community, Bob, you embody the finest of CBS values of welcome, celebration, acceptance, clarity, justice, and kindness. So I just want to thank you so much for being here, and Bob, I'm going to invite you to sit right up here to facilitate whatever is going to happen with that. All right, so welcome. Have a seat.
This microphone.
Yes, it is. Okay, you look fabulous. Well, you can sit around this, so you don't have to keep your mask on.
Thank you.
So, Bob, I can invite you to be at the mic and just to facilitate how to create.
So one of the reasons that we wanted to do tonight was to support families and families who are going through all kinds of tradition changing events in their lives. And your family, as representative of a family that's really gone through a lot of transition, and we really appreciate you share that with us. So we just wanted to talk a little bit and have you share with us. So one of the things that I remember when I first talked with the Ezekiels, and Jack was saying, we always used to say to our children, be yourselves. We want you to be yourselves. And it's like, that sort of became the theme for tonight, because what does that mean? And that's the thing, what does it mean when a child comes to us and says, this is who I am? And so I appreciate that you shared a little bit of the story of your family and how this came about, and then we're going to do some questions too, or questions of Monet also. Okay?
All right. So I'll just start with
You have to hold it close to you.
Hello.
Okay.
I'll start with a vague intro. I'm Hugh. I just started doing drag. I just started doing drag, so my speaking is. Thank you, Mama. My pronouns are they, them. I've been actually considering just using them all because I want to be genderful rather than genderless. Yeah. And if people see me, I see them. So,
You're close.
any pronouns I think I'm comfortable with at this point. Yeah. But they, them are my default preferred in case you can't tell. They're on my ears. Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, sorry about the jitty guy. But yeah, my stage name doing drag is Cosmo. It is spelled with a Q, so it's very queer. Yes. Yeah, but I'm 22, I'm an artist, I make jewelry things. They always said I got my, they're both civil engineers, so they like math and numbers. And they said that I got my artisticness and rainbow aura, I guess, from the aliens, and I like that. So I always felt supported in just my strangeness. Yeah. Or uniqueness. It's unique, it's not strange. Thank you. I like to be a little strange, so I'm good.
And you certainly are being yourself. That's for sure. I mean, when you say that when they're 12 years old, you want to be you, be true to yourself. You certainly don't know what that means 10 years later, but you're definitely being yourself. That's true. And it's funny because, like you said, both Angela and I are engineers. And I don't have an artistic bone in my body, and I think Angela has a little bit more artistic than I do, but nothing like this. I'm not quite sure about art.
Down the line on culture side, that's where.
But we're definitely here to support you. Your family's here, your family's on Zoom or Facebook, hopefully they're all watching as well. So we are all very proud of you and the things that you are
part of Q is also in their lineage. I have to say, both of my siblings are gay. I have a brother and a sister who, it took me back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, you didn't just come out and say who you were or what you wanted or what you felt. So my brother held it in till he was 30 years old. And so he was living a life unhappy, very unhappy, until he came to terms with who he is and embraced it. And it was a much better life for him. And it turned out there was no problem. My mother didn't have a big issue with it. None of us, I had no idea. I just had no clue. And everybody goes, well, yeah. And I go, oh, okay. But they're people. My siblings are people. My children are people. And we love them any way they come. And it's an adjustment for them just as much as it is for parents, because they are figuring out who they are and where they fit in this world and what it means on the inside as well as on trying to be accepted on the outside world. And it's tough for them. So they really need their parents to have their back and to support them. So if anyone's having any kind of changes on the inside, on the outside, embrace it. Talk. I think that it may be less scary than you think it is. Share with people, you'll be surprised what you hear from other people. And a lot of people are going through similar changes and having similar issues, and you can talk it out. It's almost therapeutic to talk to other people, and you get a beautiful butterfly in return.
Do you have any examples of those surprises when you shared with like friends or other adults, families, and were you afraid of first sharing and they surprised you?
Yeah, not in my family because of my family background, really. George and Sue have been very open and loving and accepting of everything. And in fact, Sue was there when Q really started this journey. And so Sue got to see firsthand how the metamorphosis started. And do you want to say anything about it, Mom?
Grandma.
No. I can.
I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Oh, I was like,
You wanted to say something?
I mean, I just think that you're relevant to the conversation. You too, bro. Came in, snuck in the lane. But Elise had my sister Elise had a big part of facilitating, I'd say. And just being the messenger between like, hey, Q's feeling this way. I know you're feeling this type of way, but consider do this. And the same thing with like, I know that I myself, Q, can get frustrated easily with my parents, and to remind me to give them grace in time. Because
I have to
y'all are
say-
doing great now.
I have to say that Elise was a big help in all this. So having a sibling who's understanding and caring also makes it a lot easier for a family to transition to whatever we need to transition to, and to keep people talking. Someday she'll make a good therapist.
Certainly the hardest part is, referring to them as they, them. When you're referring to one person and you have to say they, it doesn't sit in, easily. But it's a process, we're all always working through it and getting better, I think.
Way better.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest parts for me, it's just the they, them component of it.
Now that I tested your knowledge and your brain strength, and you passed, you can do the they, them. So I think I'm comfortable if you do say she, her. Like you or he, yeah.
Yeah.
I am transmasculine, meaning I was born assigned female at birth, and I am now 8 months on testosterone, which is pretty exciting. Which means my voice is changing out. My mustache is thriving, and it has some chin hairs. Yeah. So it's a bonus puberty, the one that I might have preferred, but it's cool to have another. It's my queer puberty, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
How was it being at Shalom School or in the Jewish community and people responding or supporting you and loving you?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've always appreciated about Judaism is a big part of it is always questioning and never accepting no or yes, black and white is never an answer. There's always like to question God and question just anything and everything really. So you don't know what you are until you try other things. So to express or to embrace new ways of gender expression and go, oh, that does feel right, huh? You know, if I didn't question it, then I don't know if I'd be here. So I think growing up in a community that embraces just individuality and thinking for yourself and embraces love and acceptance too, a big part of that. Yeah. So I felt like I could be myself in this type of space. Pretty early on, I never really felt like I had to hide myself at Temple, which was great. That I felt comfortable enough in this type of space. It's really special. Yeah, because this isn't everywhere, you know. Even with Jewish communities, some synagogues are, if I showed up like this, it might not be appreciated, but I think everyone here appreciates it. Yeah. But growing up at Shalom School specifically, being a teeny tiny private Jewish school, was pretty cute. It was sweet. I didn't feel any personal attacks or bullying, but I know that there still was bullying. And I did stand up for specifically one person in my grade, which was very nice. Nice being, it was satisfying to watch someone not be hurt every day and to actually befriend them and get to know them as a person. And now I think they're a great person and pretty sure they're part of the queer community. So, yeah, you know, helping out a fellow queer weirdo kid, you know, just being picked on and say, hey, I see you, you're not alone. And, you know, not everyone in the Jewish community is that way, you know, the way that people were kind of cruel to her. So, yeah, but I've appreciated growing beyond Shalom School too and getting experiences of public school, I guess. You know, because private school is great, but it's just very sheltering. And so I felt when I went to middle school and high school, that's when I started to be able to embrace who I was, because I got to explore myself more by seeing more people. You know, yeah. It's just hard to see yourself in your community when it's that big. When it's 180 people amongst, I think, the main school and the elementary school, or not elementary, the babies, the baby class. It's teeny tiny. My graduating class is 18 kids. That was huge. Right? Y'all remember? How old was your class? 12. Year before me? 6. Yeah, so we fluctuate in 6s and 3s. That's our thing, Judaism, I think. Right? Oh, question.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes, you can open it up to questions
Or share.
for sharing.
Or she, grandma.
Well, do you remember, I remember,
You remember
Yes,
too? I
would be great.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember when Shalom School had a Purim spiel.
Yes, I remember getting to dress up like a man and have the best time.
I think that was the Beatles one. And
It was the Beatles. You died laughing at the
when
end.
they sang Hey,
Hey
Jude.
Jude, don't make me.
And then all the boys dressed up as girls. And
I thought that was fabulous. I was such a fan that I wanted to help them all dress up.
And all the girls dressed as boys. And I remember Q had a mustache, but that one wasn't real. And I thought you looked great as a boy. I never dreamt that would become a life goal of yours.
I don't need either at the time.
So it all started at Shalom School.
For see, even at Shalom School, they said, why not cross-dress? You know, kids can cross-dress too. It's fun. So, what, Leslie? More Leslie? Good lady. Flaming red hair.
I appreciate your love because part of the political reality in today's world, and part of what I try to fight against is this bias that says, like some state legislatures saying, parents are abusive parents if they let their children be gay or trans.
If
You know,
they
they're
let
trying
them
to pass
show
laws,
laws.
you know, to say, there's nothing abusive about a family that's loving and caring.
In fact, it's life-saving. I'll have you know, because there is a high suicide rate amongst queer, especially trans youth. To have parents who do support kids in their decisions to potentially transition is life-saving, really, yeah. So the fact that it's trying to be denied is pretty cruel, and breaks my heart just a wee bit. But we're in California, you know, thank goodness. But it doesn't. Or there.
Any other questions or comments or just, yes,
I was wondering.
Wait,
how about
can
the
I
mass
ask-
dance we hear here?
I want to ask your name and pronouns.
My name's Marilyn
Raylan?
Hi, friend. Nice to meet you.
So I was wondering, when you first decided to transition, was it weird, or did you feel uncomfortable sometimes? Or,
Say it again.
Uncomfortable, or did you feel strange when you did it?
I mean, puberty is a weird time period. You're just like, what's my body doing? What's my brain doing? So it's all very different and new, but it felt correct, I'd say. It never felt like I was changing into a body that wasn't my own. It felt like it was a body becoming the one I expected it to be. It just never got there. So, yeah. But my voice changing was pretty funny at first. Voice cracks, shrieking like a 12-year-old boy. Yeah. Just my voice changing's been fun, but experimental. I have to adjust to that. That's the biggest adjustment, I'd say, from starting testosterone. Yeah. And
Thanks, Raylan.
thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Anyone? Anything? Hi.
Well, I'm Aileen.
Amy has a nose piercing.
I do.
Ah.
That means I'm queer.
I know it's Amy's queer. Pronouns?
She, they. And I just want to say, growing up with you and your sister, I feel like I was surprised because coming in, because I don't think I've ever seen you, feel as you as ever. If that makes sense.
Yes.
It's nice to see you as you.
I feel like my wings have blossomed. I'm out of my cocoon, and I'm in my not final form, but my truest form I can be right now. And I hope I keep growing. You know. Yeah. I appreciate that though. That just being seen, having my queer joy be seen, basically. And just, this is what my gender euphoria, being that gender dysphoria is when you feel uncomfortable in your body, sometimes because of gender and how gender is projected on you. So for me, my chest sometimes feels very uncomfortable. I'm wearing a binder right now, so it hugs my chest rather flatly. And I've worn a skirt as a tube top, because it's cute and it's cute hair, and that's gay. Lost my train of thought.
So maybe in closing, Jack and
Yeah.
Angela, anything you would say about supporting families here, maybe they're just starting to learn about their children, or this whole idea of be yourself?
Yeah, for parents, give as much love as you can, as much support as you can. For kids, try to be honest with yourself. Try to be honest with your parents, and hoping that they come in a loving place with you through your journey. You may be surprised they may be right there with you. And hoping that the world continues to be a more friendly place for everyone, any way we come.
Jeff?
I mean, for me, it's just the whole change. I mean, it's a process. You know, you're not gonna get it overnight. You know, so it's just kind of, you know, for the parents, I mean, just be patient and just be honest with your kids and your spouse too. Having a spouse always helps as well. The support spouse.
The last word to you?
Yeah, I wanted to include that a big part of myself and my queerness is also the non-monogamous, meaning that I don't just have one partner. I'm able to love who I want to love when I want to, keeping COVID safety in mind. Yes. So I do have 2 partners currently, and neither of them are able to come tonight, but they said they will say hello. And hopefully you'll get to meet my new partner, Lex, soon, Grandma, because they're really cool. But being polyamorous and being able to love who I want to, and feeling like you guys could meet my different partners as well. They've already met Lex, my other partner. My main partner, anchor partner, I call him, his name is Ethan. We've been together for just over 4 years now. He lives with us at my folks' house with us. So it's a close connection, though. We all got. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, really appreciate it, and I pray that Beth Shalom and other synagogues can be safe places.
Yeah.
Where people can come and talk and share like this, ask questions, and support each other.
Yeah.
And learn.
Really, though, it's a space for learning and questioning and finding answers if we can.
And tonight we also have a very special challah that the rabbi made. It's a lot like the colors of your hat. So you see a rainbow challah. It's really a special Shabbat.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for rain.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I look forward to seeing how this butterfly continues to emerge. Thank you. And at the ONA, please chat.
Come say
And then the next time I do something special, I would love you to do my makeup.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, back to us.
All right, dear friends.
So we are, we already did our announcements, so we're page 586 for all of you. Please stand.
Alleen de stad laat hartol, laat ik de lalias every שלא עשן כגויי הרצות, ולא שמח משפחות אדמה, שלא שמחו כבקרן, וגור עלינו ככל המונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נמצא שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה כקרוב בשמיים למען, ושכינת ישראל, וגלחם מרומים, תחשיבותה אלף עמך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, בשמיים נמעל, ועל הארץ מתחתינו, ונעת מלך היה אדוני, למלך על כל
Please be seated. We turn in our secure to, actually, let's look at our handouts. For reading 4 on these prayer remembrance. Oh God, remember today our LGBTQ siblings who were martyred in years past, those murdered by fanatics in the Middle Ages, those who perished in the Holocaust, and those struck down in our own city, in our own time. Remember also those who took their own lives, driven by despair by a world that hated them because of their love or gender. And in mercy, remember those who live lives of loneliness, repressing their true natures and refraining from sharing their love with one another. Oh God, remember the sacrifice of these martyrs and help us bring an end to hate and oppression of every kind. Please turn to page 598. We remember with love those who have passed within the 11 months in our community. When you hear a name that is connected to who you are, please stand and remember. Judith Spivak, Bill McDonald, Alan Lickstein, Carol Trachtenberg, Donald Yashby, Daniel Yashby, Jean Rubin, Sarah Lipson, Karina Blue, Robin Ash, Ricky Jo Miller, Victor Gabriel, Ed Brody, Jen Garcia, Mark Kane, Ami Lustig, Carl Sapperstein, Anna Rogelio Langen, Bob Unger, Bill Jenkins, Linda Clark, Sergeant Meryl Javier Shmuley, Raquel Kagan de Apasola, Dennis Mappet, Sandra Jeffrey. And we remember the yard sites of Abraham and Mary Azinski, Harold Benjamin, Bernard Berman, Edna Elias, Walter Frey, Albert Friedman, Morris Gerlich, Aldridge Harold, Bertha Hurwitz, Elizabeth Lip, James Sidio, Edward Sloan, Alvin Spivak, Elizabeth Wexler, Lucille Wheel, Betty Cohen Weissman. Are there any other yard sites or recent deaths in our community?
Dean Riddle.
Dean Riddle. We stand as one family and we remember. Zichronam Levacha, may all their memories be for a blessing. Page 598. Yitgadal Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Yalmad Yibrach Yitzchim Yamlich Malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeduchon be'Yisrael v'agalah b'zman karib yimru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevorach le'olam lo'nei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfar v'yitfama v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaveh v'yitalav shemei kudusha v'yichu. Le'elam yimkol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'miran v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah ben Shemaiah v'chayim aleinu Yaakov Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'yiramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu Yaakov Yisrael v'yimru amen. Please be seated. So, my friends, let's turn to page 9 for our closing song, Hallelujah. The words are Kol Hanshama Tahallel. Let every soul praise. Hallelujah.
to all our friends on live stream. Shabbat Shalom.